All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. Welcome to the Inner Circle Live pre-New York session. I'm your host for this morning's session, Benny Allen, along with my awesome partner, Mr. Ryan Carthage. And we're definitely happy and grateful for each and every one of you being here with us this morning as we take a look at the technicals and the fundamentals to see what we can take advantage of in the Forex market. So, without further ado, let's make sure that we turn off any and all distractions, grab a pen and paper, take lots of notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage. If everybody can hear me loud and clear, drop me a huge number one in the chat. Let me know you're ready to go as we head towards the end of January of 2024 already, as we are on this 25th day of January. So, all right. Let me see here. I see the ones coming in. Good morning, everybody. Glad to have you all here. And so let's take a look at the credo. Let's make sure each and every day that we are following that number one foundational step and taking massive action, that we are accepting all possible losses before entering a trade, preparing you for any outcome. Let's make sure that we center ourselves in body, mind, and spirit, ensuring a balanced approach to trading. Let's make sure that we're trusting in our education, our strategy, our trading skills, and intuition. And let's make sure that we imagine our trades successfully materializing each and every time. And let's make sure that we are obeying our trading strategy, avoiding decisions based on greed or fear. I know I sometimes have a problem with that, right? And let's make sure that we're never looking back or stopping once your trade has commenced. We win the war before it starts, meaning that we calculate our risk, right? We figure out what we can afford to lose before we take each and every trade using proper risk management always. So that is that. Let's go over, take a look at the Forex factory. What do we have coming down the pike today? We've got the out of the Eurozone, right? The ECB, we've got the monetary policy statement, main refinancing rate. They're expected to hold at 5.5, so no rate cuts, right? For the ECB, that's what's expected. We'll see what comes out of the statement, right? In the forward guidance. At 8:30, we've got advanced GDP Q over Q for the United States, right? Let's see what's going on with this economy here. And we've got unemployment claims coming through. The forecast is 199,000. The previous was 187. So we've got some things that can move the market this morning at 8:45, right? We've got the ECB press conference, right, where we're going to get that forward guidance from Christine Lagarde. So we'll see what they have to say. Australia, we've got a bank holiday going on. And with Japan at 6:50, we got monetary policy meeting minutes, right? That's all the back and forth that's going on with Japan right now. It'd be interesting to see what the meeting minutes had to say from that last meeting. That's that there on the calendar. Today, trading economics, we've got German business morale weakens to a 3.5-year low. So continue to keep an eye on that. That's been going a little bit back and forth. Here again, the ECB to hold rates, resist early rate cut talks. Okay, so it's who's going to flinch first, right, when it comes to the central banks and those rate cuts for 2024. USD GDP growth seen slowing to 2% in the United States. So that's the projection. We'll see how that comes out with the US dollar. And depending on that, right, we can see that DXY has been bouncing around. If that's going to be the case, we may see decline. So we'll see. UK retail sales fall the most in 3 years. Right. So the ebbs and flows of the market starting to see some slowdowns with some key metrics. But we shall see. We see Brent crude extended gains to a 2-month high. We know WTI crude is moving pretty good too. So we'll take a look at those on the charts. Any questions in regards to the fundamentals? No? We're good to go? All right. So we'll click over to this US, take a look at the US dollar, right? And we can see how we got that move up, right? We got that gap action, but then we've stalled moving to the side pretty much. So more so focused on what's going on here. We'll see what happens with those GDP numbers and see if we get a downside move with the US dollar. I'm thinking uh, bearish to see some bearishness in the dollar, but we'll see, right? It's been back and forth, right? Which can kind of make the dollar hard to trade when it's sitting there like it is now. So we'll continue to keep an eye on the DXY. Here, if we look at it from a higher time frame perspective, right? There's that move up off of that evening star, and now you can see we're kind of neutral to bearish. So we'll see what happens with the dollar. That's put in a new low though. Uh, I'm just thinking in regards to long term the rate cut situation um, that I think we may cut before other um, central banks is what I'm thinking. Because we were out the gate fast when interest rates started to accelerate. Um, things are looking pretty good for the U.S. economy right now. So I'm thinking um, that the U.S. may eventually cut first. So that's why I'm thinking long term bearishness on the dollar, seeing some type of corrective move to the downside, but we shall see, right? So not a whole much to look at technically there. So that's that. So let's jump into want to move down, take a look at the S&P 500. I know a lot of you have been hearing about, the rally that it put in, but it just goes to show you that this market moves in waves, right? So we'll see what happens when the GDP numbers comes out and how the markets react. But when we look at the S&P 500 from the daily chart, uh, it played out right as expected. You no longer see that this fib is highlighted because we completed an ABCD wave. Look at that move off that monthly level of 4104, right at that 50%. And look at that move to the 1.618 D extension. Right? This is why I love swing trading. Okay. 50% pullback restructured a monthly support, and the market just rallied from there. Now we hit that D extension. So that signifies, right, that hey, we may get a slowdown here soon and get a correction back to the downside. As we move down through the charts, you can see here on the 4-hour, we've already formed a new AB boundary. Okay. See how it stalled in this 80-20 zone. We got a little bit of a correction. We didn't quite get back to that 382, but that just shows us that the bulls were in control, right? We broke out of that range and we chased that D extension. On the 4, we've got a new AB boundary. And then if we look here on the 1, you can see we are already in the 80-20 zone on this S&P 500 from a 1-hour chart. So technically, we've got an 80-20 on the 1-hour. We've got a D extension that was hit on the daily. So we may be due for a correction on the S&P a lot sooner than later. Any questions there? No? Okay. All right. Well, we'll move on. Everybody hear me okay? Yes or no? Looks like my microphone is working. Just want to double check and make sure. Okay, we're good. All right, moving on. So let's move up, right? We'll start taking a look at these Aussie pairs. Just want to take a look at some of the setups that we've been involved in. This Aussie on the 1-hour chart, this Aussie CAD is steadily moving towards the target, right? We're getting some bullish momentum today. So we are almost to, right? If we stay above that 88.96 daily level, we continue to get long. We are seeking out that 1-hour TP1 on this 80-20 play. All right. So just if you're in that trade, okay, if you're in that trade, I had tightened the stop down on this one based on the pullback. So you had a 23 pip stop on that, and we're looking at getting close to 70 pips on that move if it continues long. So that one's looking good. Any questions on that Aussie CAD? No. All right, moving on. Taking a look at the Aussie Swiss. All right. So few things going on here, right? So if we come here and we take a look, and you guys are going to see now, this is the first Swiss cross And you can see that we're getting some bullish momentum. So we're holding here, right? If we just look at this straight support and resistance off the daily 56.74, we're moving bearish, right? Moving bullish. We had a bearish candle that came right down back to retest that support, and we're getting a reaction to the upside. So we can see here where we already had an amazing 80-20 that played out. I don't know if anybody got short on this at this point, but that's a decent play to the downside. But my main focus was this 80-20 to the upside that went to 2 TP levels, almost hit TP3, that 8 boundary. So that worked out well. There's one here on the 15, on the 30, right? Almost swung and got stopped out, but you can see how we came back above that 56.74. So what we are trying to see is if we can get this TP1 on the 30-minute, right? So this one is already pulling. Here's our 80 already moving along and moving north. So this is our 80-20 zone here, right? We push down and we got to swing long. If you take a look at the 15, right, there was one earlier here, right? Super clean, 80-20 move to the upside, right? Straight out of the zone, right? That one's even cleaner than the 30-minute through 2 TP levels. I didn't play this one, but I am on this 4-hour, right? Looking at this 4-hour move to try to get TP1. So that one's still in process, but overall, we got a break and a retest of that 56.74, and we're moving bullish against the Swiss. Any questions on the Aussie Swiss? No? All righty. Moving on to the Aussie yen, pretty much, right? Still looking bullish against these yens. There are a few situations where we got some 80-20s in play against it, but overall, still bullish, right? Still moving bullish. This one's moving sideways, super choppy, but still long, right? So still looking for that to complete the ABCD wave eventually. Right now, we're just moving sideways. 4-hour stochastic is in the buy zone on the Aussie yen. If we come down to the 1, take a look at it, right? You can see it's just choppy, but at the end of the day, still projecting that to move long. Okay, just whipping around. So not the cleanest setup, but still moving long nonetheless. Any questions on the Aussie yen?
No, sir.
All right. Good morning, Ryan. How are you, sir?
Good morning, bro. I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
Oh, man, I'm doing great. Doing great. Getting towards the end of the week. AFC NFC Championship game. I'm ready.
Detroit is about to go crazy. The city.
I know. I know. I am ready. So we shall see how this ends up. 2 good games too. So
Yeah.
yep. Anything on the fundamental front?
No. I posted those articles I'm sure you went over this morning, yesterday, but no, that's it, man.
Okay. All right. Cool. Cool. So let's move on, right? Take a look at the Aussie dollar. Um, take a look at that setup on the 1-hour, right? And we are steady moving along. So we'll move out to the daily first, right? So we got that huge correction, and then we were talking about coming out of the weekend, the support, right? Around this level, that 65.40 level, can't break through it. And right now we're pushing long. Daily stochastic is in the buy zone. So if we come down to the 1-hour chart, right, we are trying to hold for TP1 on this 80-20. We've got a new ABCD wave plan out here, right? So it makes sense, right? We got a deep correction to a 786 level. So right up around that zone around TP1 is where we look for it to exhaust. And maybe it's time for another correction there. So just holding, looking for TP1. So far, so good. A few pullbacks, right, along the way with this one. So 55 pips, right? So TP1 right? We moved to 98. So still holding the Aussie dollar to see if we can get TP1 on that counter trend trade 80-20 setup. Any questions on the Aussie dollar?
No, sir.
All right, moving in on the CAD Swissy. All right, so looking at this 4-hour play. Okay, so we had an Aussie Swissy play moving long, right? Aussie moving long against the Swissy. Okay, this one we're still waiting to play out. Long-term move, 339 pips. Okay, so this is an 80-20. So you can see, right, we're moving slowly out of the zone. We came right back up to that level that we were talking about, that B boundary. Look at that, right? Look at that range right there. Okay, and we can see price push right back down, but we're holding within the AB boundary. So I am looking for this C to D move to play out. Right, looking for the C to D move to play out. If you're just getting involved with this trade, right, we've got a new AB boundary. You may not want to keep your stop as wide, right? You might want to move it right up underneath that A and just play it as a traditional ABCD move. Okay, but it is on this subfit running to the upside, it is in the sweet spot. Okay, and if that Swissy is getting weak, right, we may be able to get some positive momentum. We know we got oil getting a boost right now, which is good for the CAD. Like I said, it's right on that 61.8 and it's formed a low. So looking for that to get some more upside momentum and trying to get to that TP1 on this larger play, which is about 250 pips away or something like that. Like 245, 250. Any questions on the CAD Swiss? Still holding that trade.
Nope.
All right. So let's move on. CAD yen. Right? Still looking to move long against the yen. Right. So here we are. Okay, we got a pullback and a correction. This is the overall move, right? 932 pips to the D extension eventually, right? Against the yen. Long-term position setup. Okay. So if we come here and we take a look at the 4, we can see that we're still moving bullish. Okay, we're still hovering above that trend line. So we're looking, right, for any type of opportunities for pullbacks and longs with this CAD yen, right? 4-hour stochastic is in the buy zone. If we creep down to the 1 hour, we want to see, right, if we can get that continued correction to a sweet spot. Okay, that hit the edge of that 80-20 zone, that 118, right? Don't know if anybody played that. But what I want to see price come back down. Maybe we can get a retest of this 108.34 level and hold in that zone. Then we'll look to get bullish. Okay, so I'm waiting, right? Didn't play this to the downside, waiting for this pullback, and then look for opportunities to get long against the yen. Questions on the CAD yen? Just a reminder, we do have BOJ monetary policy meeting minutes coming out. I believe 6:50. That's what we saw. 6:50 p.m. EST today. Okay. So let's see, right? See if we can continue to get that to make one more drive lower to retest that support right around that 61.8 level. That's that. Swissy yen. All right. We know we're long. We know that overall, right? This monthly, chasing that monthly D. Beautiful swing. Okay. Beautiful swing, beautiful retest at 137.41, all of that. But what we're trying to see on the lower time frames is, can we get one more correction before, right, it completes that monthly fib? Okay. So we're in the midst of this ABCD wave now. Price is continuing to move sideways. Okay. Continuing to move sideways. Makes sense, right? If we're getting some Swissy weakness, yen hasn't been as strong. We got 2 weaker currencies, right? So the market is dancing around. It's moving sideways as a result. But hey, I just continue to move that trend line to the outside of the consolidation, and we see we're trying to turn over again. And we know we know with the yen, we always have the possibility of the bottom just falling out, right? In this type of scenario. So we'll see. We'll see if those medium minutes have any type of impact to get this to move lower. Because that's a pretty big move down if we can get it. It's a pretty big setup. So we're moving sideways. There's no way, no reason for me to get out of it at this time, right? Let it play out, right? The risk is already figured out before we take the trade. Let it play out. See if we can get that 260 or so to the downside. Any questions on the Swiss yen? So overall, yes, we are long, but when we use the Fibonacci framework, this is not our opportunity. This is not our opportunity to buy right now, right? We're sitting high. This is what these levels represent. We want a correction or pull back into our zone if we're looking to get long, right? So if you're looking to continue to follow the trend, you need a low price, right? Can't say that enough. All right, so that's the Swiss yen. Moving on to this Euro CAD. All right, so we are trying to get to back to this TP1, right? Because we didn't hit it because we came up against a daily resistance level. It's choppy, it's range bound, but it's trying to move back to the top of the range. Now we've got a 4-hour stochastic that's exhausting a little bit to the buy side. But on this 15-minute, right? We got some 80-20 action going on here. So it'd be interesting if we can get one more drive down and then a move up. So if you trade the 15-minute chart, there is an 80-20 opportunity on the Euro CAD, right? To see we've got a trend line break, but we didn't take out that low yet. So we want to see, hey, prices pulling back. Can we get a move down, right? And it kind of plays into that narrative on the 4, right? Because we're trying to get to that 4-hour TP1. So maybe we get one more correction down and then a move up, right? To that 147.70. So let's see what happens with that. But that is a 80-20 to the sell side on the 15 as we are looking for that larger 4-hour move to play out. Any questions on the EuroCAD?
No, sir. Troy said you took that last night.
What'd you say? Oh, Joy. All right. All right. Drop you some sevens for taking a shot and finding the setups on your own. That's a beautiful thing. Right? Doing the work. Right? Managing your risk and taking shots. It's a great job. It's a great job finding that setup. Okay. So may not be for everybody if you don't trade on the 15-minute chart. If you're trading higher time frame, 4-hour, then you're just waiting for that 80-20 on the 4 to play out. Great job. Great job. Um, Euro Swissy. Take a look at it. All right? Let's take a look at it because I'm liking this. Okay. See what's going on. Let's look at what happened to us, right? So this was our 80-20. Okay. TP2 got hit. That's another one, everybody. We're just starting the year. We're just starting the year. So TP2 gets hit, we get a correction and a pullback. But my bias is bullish with this euro and coming through these pairs, looking at the Swissy, showing some signs of weakness, right? So TP2 got hit on that, but I am looking for this to continue, right? So make sure you mark this one down because this 4-hour stochastic is in the buy zone. Everything is lining up in the sweet spot. I am looking for a continuation long on this Euro Swissy. Right, that's just my take on it. Right, we're looking at the ECB holding rates. The Swissy showing some weakness across the board. We're right in the sweet spot zone. We got a stochastic in the buy zone. My rules are met. right? My rules are met. So I am thinking long on this Euro Swissy, a continuation. We're already long off the 80-20, right? But you may be out of it, right? Maybe out of that now. But that's like 134 from where it is now, right? So either put your stop below the A, right? And we know we divide our risk by stop loss, right? So trade small, or you put your stop loss below the C to C low if you like a tighter stop. Very simple how we trade here in the Forex trade room. Okay, same scenarios over and over again. Okay, so I'm gonna keep mines below that A because you can always add to that position later. Any questions on a Euro Swissy?
Benny, can you go back? What was that? The 1 hour that you got to play on?
Mm. And you can even see here how that pulled back, right? That was a sub fib 80-20 there. Right.
Okay, I was seeing. I never seen. I missed this one when it was given, and I don't know why. I was looking at this like a break in the retest for a continued move down.
Continue to move down. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm running this strictly off of my bias, right?
Okay.
I'm running this strictly off of my bias, right? Could I be wrong? Absolutely, right? But we got a beautiful reverse off that 92.54, right? That 80-20 swing. And so I'm more so bullish on the euro, you know, especially against the Swissy. Um, so I'm gonna let it play out and see what happens. But I could, if I'm wrong, it's gonna hit my stop. And if somebody's short, they just gobbled me up, right? They
Okay.
just, they just got
I,
it, and I lose, right? So I lose that position. Um, I lose that trade, but I've already had a really good positive gain on this move. So, you know,
okay. But no,
yeah.
I respect that. I was like, I mean, I understand why you're bullish on the euro. I do understand that. I guess I ain't been trusting Diddy lately. I ain't been trusting Diddy. So
I know it has been like so for the first month of this year, for the most part, I haven't been taking like these secondary moves. I did on this one, but I've been kind of just playing those 80-20s, you know, and getting out because it has been to start the year has been a lot of back and forth, right? Because there's so much that's going on. Election year, the market's rallying, people wondering when is it going, and it just keeps moving. It just keeps moving higher. It's like it's defying odds and expectations. You got your strong bears out there pumping the rhetoric that like, look, this whole thing is gonna come down, which is what they needed to do because they're trapped getting squeezed. You know, uh, so it just all needs to work itself out. But one thing is that if we just stay disciplined to our technical setups, especially the 80-20, we still can navigate our way through it, right? Because we know that's the one thing that can calm the seas is sticking to our sweet spots. And we know that those are going to play out no matter what and give us the edge over time. But it's a lot to navigate through fundamentally right now. So I totally understand you on that. So I try not to overthink things, because you hear me saying I try not to, which means oftentimes I do. So I just learned to discipline myself to, hey man, where is it? Look at these technical levels, and make the play. Work your risk management out and make the play, and you should be fine over the long run. So I haven't doubled down and gotten back in on these setups like this, those secondary type of moves in that direction. But I'm hoping this one plays out. Said guilty. For sure. Uh Euro yen. Right. Overall, we're looking for longs, right? It's been long off this support um for quite some time. Right. Look at the break and the retest. We're continuing along. Now we've got a daily stochastic, right? That's in the sell zone. There's that break that we played, right? Another one of those secondary type moves, right? That we had the opportunity to get in, right, on this play, right, from that level, that break and retest to that level. 4 hours stochastic is still in the buy zone. So I'm looking long euro yen, But if you're looking to get in on this initially, you can use like this 1 hour fib because we haven't gotten a deep correction yet. So what we would love to see is this move down, right? Here's that 158.54 level. If we can get a move back down, potentially, right, to that level or somewhere around there and then get long. But I'm not at a low enough price yet where I want to take an initial setup on that. So just continue to be patient. Overall bullish euro yen. Just waiting for a low price. Questions on the euro yen? No?
No,
All
sir.
right. All right. Uh Euro NZD. This was a bummer. I missed on this one at the first move, but moving along. So here's the I missed on 80-20, but here's the longer term position play, right? So that 174.88 entry point. But so we're moving along, right? We broke through, this was a couple Saturdays ago, right? Over longer swing. It broke out of that range. And now you can see we're retesting at 177.40. There was a smaller, so this is the overall play here on this Euro NZD. Okay, so it's a beautiful move. There was a 80-20 setup that missed, right? So this previous fib, buyers maintained control around this 80-20 zone. It stalled out, moved sideways, but then it exploded, right? And I didn't take this setup. I don't know if anybody did, but right on the next fib came the correction, right? So it pushed up to the 80-20 zone again, but this time it gave us exactly what we were looking for on this last fib. So we got that move back to the 3. I actually need to clean this up because that's the old move there. All right. So we can take this out. So that's no longer any good. But we got the correction on the next fib, right? So sometimes, right, it's just a timing thing. Right? Sometimes we don't have it in regards to the timing. So what we can see is that, hey, this is already starting to move back long a little bit. Okay. So if we do continue to see bullish momentum from this Euro NZD, right, we may be making this move now. So that's one to keep an eye on there. Right? Because we've pulled back to a 61.8. So we've come out of this 80-20, right? See how the market likes to seek a lower price, right? We didn't get that 382. We broke the B boundary. We pushed up. Look at that rejection. Can't deny that zone, right? It's real, right? So now what's interesting is we've gotten this pullback here. Our stochastic isn't quite back into the buy zone. So we're right at a 50% level. Maybe we get a deeper push, right? But if you're thinking, hey, I want to continue long, and I missed this initial move from this capital fib, I missed that deep correction, right? So you could say, now what I'm doing is this, right? How we go over our different entry techniques, where we wait for trend line breaks and pullbacks, stochastic in the buy zone, key fib level, and then you can kind of take a setup like so. Okay. Work out your math. Put your stop below the A. You may say, hey, I've got to pull back to a 50%. If I can get a confirmed swing low here, right? So we'll need one more 1 hour candle to the right if this confirms as the low. And you may say, I'll take this shot with that stop being below the C, and then I'll look to get long, right? However you want to play it, but that's an opportunity there. Any questions on the Euro NZD? Interested to see how that plays out.
No, sir. No questions.
All righty. Euro USD. Okay. So here we are. Okay, back and forth. Okay, we'll see what happens with this dollar, right? So we know that the DXY is doing exactly this, and so is the Euro USD, but we're holding above that 108.78. The play that I've been watching is this 1 hour, right? Because we came all the way down through this 80-20, which I could take this out now. Don't confuse anybody. Right. We keep hovering around that 108 level. So if, right, it's stalling, if we get dollar weakness, I'm going to look for this to continue long, right? And keep that Euro bullish narrative, right? So we're within this AB boundary. Let's see what happens, right? It's moving sideways right now. Not too much there, but keep an eye on that level. Let's see if we can get some positive momentum. Let's see if some of the fundamental data can serve as a catalyst to push this long. All right. Any questions on the Euro USD? It's moving sideways right now. Oh, all right. So, moving along, right? We've got checking on these pound pairs. We've got this pound Aussie long, right? Long. Okay, for the most part. Morning Star right at support. Can't make that stuff up, can we? Okay. There's only a few things that we pay attention to. We don't get caught up in all the rest of the mess. Right? It's a morning star, decision, indecision, decision that push long. Okay. Really love candlestick formations on the higher time frames. Right? There's more data per candle. Usually serves to be a good signal. Right? So this is moving long right now. We're stalling out at this level again. Right? The weekly zone. But we are long. Right? So we'll see. If you plan it off to 4, okay, it becomes simple. You want a deeper correction off the 4. Right? If you're not already long on it, you want a deeper correction. This is going to be initial entry on a pound Aussie play to the upside. 4-hour chart. If I'm trading a 4-hour chart, I want a deeper correction, and then I want to try to get long from there if it makes sense at that time. Okay. 4-hour. I mean, a 1 hour, kind of the same thing, right? We've broken it to the upside, right, from our original markup, but we broke it prior to a deep correction. We got to bounce off to 382, but if your sweet spot is a 61.8 or deeper, 50% with some structure, you need to wait on this, right? If it continues to move long off that 382, then if you don't have a trade plan that says you take trades off the 382, then guess what? You just missed the trade. And you know what? That's okay, right? So you want to see a deep correction, right? Deeper discount, then look to buy. That's the pound Aussie. So kind of bullish, but we're waiting for the next setup on that. Okay. Moving on to the pound CAD. All right. Been moving long. Look at that. Okay. It's an ABCD wave. I've never seen one. Okay. We'll correct. We'll correct. But look how strong price pushed through that 171.46 level. Okay. Takes a lot for a candle like that on the daily. Okay. So we're moving bullish, right? Everybody remember that call? Right? Remember that call from beneath? That 80-20 swing? It's taking out the A. Right? It's taking out the A. So now we're moving long. Beautiful, right? So we expect to hit that D extension, then we'll probably see some sort of a correction. Okay, here we are on the 1. Didn't get as deep as a correction on the 1, right? 382, and then we went long. Okay, so we expect to hit that D extension. Right, so we're not going to buy it now, but it all started. Right, one of our awesome inner circle members saying, hey, there's an 80-20 there with structure. Let's get in on that, right? It's been moving long ever since. So total move off of that, right? That 80-20 to the 382 was 200 pips, 61.8. Oh, what is that? 220, something like that. 8 boundary, 400 pips. Where we are now, 430 pips off that level, right? 130 pips off that level. Great trade. Great trade on the pound CAD. Moving on to the pound Swissy. Right? It's moving long, right? It's pushing long, right? We may see a deeper correction now, okay, because it's moved up quite a ways. You can see here as we move through. Look at that, right? It's just climbing. It's just climbing. Love to see this turn over and move deeper off the 4. Okay, maybe retest the backside of that trend line and then get long, but that's not my zone right now. It's not my zone. I need to see this turn over. If you're trading a 4-hour chart, you want to see that turn over, get long. Okay. Better price. Same thing here on the 1. Can we see this make an ABCD wave down and then get long? Okay. That's all we want to see. Over and over and over again for the entire year. That's what we want to see. Pound Swissy, any questions? Wait, we need to wait.
No questions.
All right, GJ. Okay. And we're long. Look at that. Okay. We need to get through that level. Okay. 188.81. It was there once, and now it's back there again. Okay. It's back there again. Here we are on the daily. Worked our way all the way back up to that level. Okay. We're putting in a double top. We need a correction to get long. If our bias is long against this yen, we need a correction down. Right? So same narrative with a lot of these pounds. If we're looking to trade this with the trend, looking for a C to D move, we want a low price. Maybe we can get back down to that 184.24 and then get long. We're not in an 80-20 position for that yet. Moving down to the 1, right? We came right into that 80-20 zone. We did. So I don't know if anybody's short on that GJ, right? Based on this 1 hour with that weekly level there, right? If you are, you're up right now. Okay, it's choppy, but it's moving in a downward direction. But it follows the same narrative, right? We need it to move down. Okay. All right, so any questions on the GJ? You took this one short, Ryan?
Yeah, I'm in this one short.
That's good. What are you up right now on that? That's got to be pretty decent.
I am up 70 pips
Yeah,
off my entry.
yeah.
Yeah,
Great work. Great
appreciate
work.
it.
Yeah. Put them 7s in the chat. But me too. So 7s for everybody. Great work.
Joe, were you about to say something?
Yeah, I got a question. Why on the 4? So I did my overthinking. That's why I told you guilty earlier.
Mhm.
And I don't know why it looked like it was going to, that 4 hour was more of the play to make than waiting on the 1.
What do you
And I
mean?
guess
For to
maybe
the long side, or you shorting it?
well, I was short and I had took it after the break of the bottom. I took it, I didn't take it straight at the top. I took it once I seen it was going down and retested the bottom half. So I was like, about 30 pips. Because then I started over analyzing this 4 because I was looking at the stochastic, and then I was looking at the I was looking at our sweet spot for the 80/20. So I was trying to figure out why wouldn't the 80/20 be more suffice on the 4 than the 1?
Well, based on this fib, right, we didn't quite get there, on that fib. So it just depends on what chart you trade on, right? So if like the way I like to play my 80/20s, right, I like to see price actually move up into that zone, right? But we came up just shy. It just reflected better on the 1 because on the 1 hour, the smaller wave, it actually put everything in its proper alignment, right? But
Gotcha.
yeah, but even without it, right? So sometimes we just look at structure, right? If I didn't use a fib at all, right, or anything, just support and resistance, I would short and put a stop above resistance, right? Because it's been there 1, 2, 3 times, right? Probably more than that if we go back, right? So to run a short off of that without anything on your chart, right? Look, if I was just playing this without any additional confirmations, right? I would look at that level and say, it's a potential short opportunity there for a correction at least, for a correction at least. If I'm long, right, on this and I'm looking, I wouldn't buy it there. I would either buy it here. Right? So the way we teach, right? If you take it from its foundation and work your way up to the fibs, the way we teach it, like you can actually trade without anything on your chart, really, besides support and resistance. Hope everybody realizes that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if I'm long, the GJ, I'm looking for a correction back to this level to see if I can get some sort of a bounce. Now, you may be looking to come here and then looking to buy, right? If you're using just support and resistance, right? Then if I form a low here, then I might just be looking to buy it back, right? If I totally eliminate the fibs out of my mind, if I get price to settle in this zone, okay, and I find that there is a demand there and it forms a low, then I might just be looking to buy right back to that level. If I break, right? If I break this level, okay, then I may be looking at that level as future support. Okay. But now that I'm in here, right? If I say, hey, I want to get bearish at this level, then I might just play it like this. Right. We're swing trading, so we're looking for longer term projections. Right. So I'm saying when I'm swing trading, like it's gonna bust through all this stuff in one particular direction. And I've calculated it to where it's gonna come out at this extension or whatnot. But if I'm short, like if you took that short there, you're winning that trade right now. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, right? Sometimes we have to just take it back, right? Clear our minds, right? To deprogram or clean up our hard drive, you know, and look at things for what they are. So I can see if you took that short off that level, that's perfectly fine. Kiki, what's up?
Hi.
Hey,
Hi. Good morning. Yes, I
good
couldn't
morning.
speak because I didn't have the audio. Anyway, so I wanted to find out why you have your zone up here instead of where the daily support and resistance start from. Why don't you have your zone there? Why do you have it up here?
We're up here.
Where you drew your zone. No, back to where
Right here, right
um
there,
yeah. Why is it
right
that
there.
it's here? You see where your daily support and resistance starts from?
Yeah. This is just even though, right, I'm looking at that near term, I still know, just as a from a price action perspective, just with the trained eye, that this is a level here that could become past support. I mean,
Okay.
future support, right? That's a past resistance level, right? So even though when I'm looking at this near term and this move down, you actually have one here on the 4. This is just my daily. So if I put in, right, these levels here, you see it, you got one there, you got one there. So really this entire zone, right? But I know when I could just look back and see that that's an area where price might respect that in the future, right? So if I come down to the 1 hour, right? You see it right here, right? So it hasn't been established yet, but if this price moves and comes down and forms a swing low, then you're going to have a new level of support. You see what I'm saying? And this is just me forecasting that we could see an issue there, right? Because you have structure, right? So we don't have anything formed there yet, but that could create a new level of support as we move from left to right on this chart. Okay. So this is when you see these levels here, right? Let me take this back off. Okay. This is already in existence. Like this is this zone here, right? You can see it, right? But you see how this has already been formed in the past. You see that?
Yes.
So this is me looking, right? See, look, so here, support, support, support. Well, look what happened here. Right? See, before, right, as we move through, okay, it's just amazing how the market works. So at one point in time, I could have looked back and said, this area here may be future support, right? So as I move through this chart, okay, and this broke this level. Look at that. You see that? See how it broke through that high? Follow me there?
Yeah, I do.
And now I'm coming back, right? So now that price action has occurred, now we can put a smart support on it. We can see that that's support. But I could tell you before that pullback even occurred that this is an area where price may react, because in the past, you see that?
Yeah, that's where I had my zone. So I was wondering why yours was higher. Yeah.
Right. So there's a zone, because, right, that's a zone. You see that? Because it already occurred, right? You see that? What I'm saying is this, what happened here, can also in the future, it's like predicting the future, right?
Oh,
Can happen
okay.
here. It just hasn't occurred yet.
Okay.
You see? So here, so like for example, this is a swing low. Okay. So you just constantly get new levels being created, right? As the market leaves these footprints. So this is on a 4-hour chart. Okay, here. So this is the low. See that? So this price can move down and take out this low. And we may get here and settle in this zone. And guess what? You get price action pattern that looks like this eventually. Then what are you going to have? That's your new support. Past resistance becomes future support. So that's when you see us come in and put it like that. Past support Hold on 1 second.
Future resistance.
Okay. So past resistance becoming future support. Past support possibly becoming future resistance. We don't know yet, right? But you can see that. Just like how I can look and make a potential projection here, I can make it here, right? And when we talk about the staircase, right? How price is coming down, right? And we talk about, you know, spatial intelligence, right? See? Okay. There was a little one there. 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 See? The market literally does the same thing over and over again. Right? And down we go. Okay. So this is how we get this, right? So this is how we get these breaks, right? And retest. Retest. Boom, right? And then we retest. Okay. How the price action moves. Yeah. So that's why, right? So right now in real time, the level that you have, right, is correct because we don't know if this is going to hold as a future level of support yet. We can eyeball it and see, right? So that's why this daily level is marked up and we don't have this one here yet because technically it really doesn't exist. We're just looking in the past. So when it's relevant, right? Relevant, right? If this is the sun, right? When you're using smart trader and support and relative support and resistance, if this is a huge mountain, the sun right now is shining on this side of the mountain, right? So this is what Ryan talks about when he talks about relative support and resistance, near-term support and resistance. Right here, right? Okay. Because the sun is shining on this side of the mountain, right? Hope that makes sense, right? And these are the levels. So in the future, we may see a level of support here, possibly, but it's not marking it up yet, quite yet, because we're not there, okay? All right. Good morning, Ron. So that's that. Great questions, right? Any questions
Thank you
on
very
anything
much.
You're welcome. Hope that helps you out. Yeah. Ron, was that you?
Yes, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
If I so, good morning.
Always good to hear your voice, sir.
Yes, sir.
Always good to hear your voice. Ryan,
Likewise.
anything before we close out?
No, sir. Continue to be patient, good people. Watch the data that comes out today, and we'll see what happens from there. Great session, bro. Appreciate you, man.
All right. All right. That's it. Oh, before we close out, I guess if I didn't get a chance to get to that, we'll take a look at that NCD CAD real quick. Because it's looking like we're moving pretty good to the target. So just continue to be patient with this. That's a 94 pip target. Possibly get 129 on that. So continue to watch out. We're getting close. We're right at daily resistance. So if you need to take some off that trade, take it off. But we might get a correction there before we eventually finish out. All right, everybody. Hey, have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the pre-New York session. Bye for now.